Today we're diving into forgiveness, as it's presented in A Course in Miracles. It's not just about letting go of grudges,
Right.
but something much deeper.
Yeah, it's really about how forgiveness is our function, as Lesson 62 states.
Forgiveness as a function.
I've never thought of it that way before.
It's a new way to look at it.
It is.
The lesson begins by stating, "Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world."
So it's not just something we should do.
Yeah.
It's part of who we are.
It's integral.
It's our purpose.
Yes, our role in the world.
Like when we forgive, we start to see things differently.
Exactly.
We let go of judgment and resentment.
And then we see the light.
And the good in others.
Even when they've hurt us.
It's almost like
Yeah.
forgiveness is like a superpower
It is.
that allows us to see things more clearly.
And the Empress goes on to say, "I would fulfill my function that I may be happy."
So it connects our ability to forgive with our own happiness.
It does.
But we often think of forgiveness as something we do for other people.
This is suggesting that it's just as much for ourselves.
It is.
So forgiving allows us to let go of the negativity that weighs us down.
Yeah, and prevents us from experiencing true happiness.
Forgiving helps us to see the truth.
It does. The Course teaches that we often perceive things incorrectly.
Ye-
We're looking through a lens of judgment and fear.
But when we forgive, we're cleaning that lens.
Oh, yeah.
And we're able to see the world and ourselves more clearly.
Yes.
I've definitely experienced that.
Have to.
When I hold on to anger or resentment,
Mm-hmm.
it's like carrying around a heavy weight.
I know what you mean.
It clouds my judgment.
It does.
And it makes it hard to enjoy anything.
Yeah.
But when I'm able to forgive, it's as if a huge weight has been lifted.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I feel lighter, freer, and more at peace.
That's a direct result of fulfilling our function as the light of the world.
We're stepping into our true selves.
Yes. Our most authentic selves.
And as we practice forgiveness,
Mm-hmm.
we become more aligned with who we truly are.
More loving, more compassionate, and more understanding.
So how do we actually practice this forgiveness?
Well,
Is it just repeating affirmations or trying to force ourselves to feel a certain way?
the Course addresses this directly in Lesson 62.
Okay.
It suggests that we start by recognizing the illusions we hold about ourselves and the world.
Okay.
And remember, it states that illusions about yourself and the world are one.
So when we're judging someone, we're actually judging ourselves.
It's not exactly like that.
Okay.
It's more that our judgments of others are often a reflection of our own unresolved issues,
Okay.
our own fears and insecurities.
We project our own stuff onto others.
Yes, and when we recognize that, we can begin to let go of those judgments.
So forgiveness is a process of self-awareness.
It is.
It's understanding how our thoughts and beliefs shape our perception of the world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And as we become more aware of our own internal dialogue, we can challenge the negative thoughts and replace them with more loving and forgiving thoughts.
You know, thinking back to the lesson,
Yeah.
I was struck by the idea that forgiveness is a replacement for attack.
That's a key point.
It is.
The Course teaches that every time we judge, criticize, or hold a grudge, we're attacking.
Not in a physical sense,
No.
but in a mental or emotional sense.
Right. And each act of attack reinforces our sense of separation from others.
And from our true selves.
Exactly.
So how does forgiveness replace attack?
Well, it starts with awareness.
Okay.
We need to become aware of when we're engaging in attack thoughts, and then we choose to forgive instead.
But what if the person we need to forgive has really hurt us?
That's a good question.
And what if they're not sorry for what they did?
Yeah.
How can we forgive them?
That's a very valid question, and one we'll discuss further in the next part of our conversation.
Oh.
But I think it's important to remember that forgiveness is not about condoning someone's actions.
Or letting them off the hook. So it's not about saying what they did was okay.
No.
It's about freeing ourselves from the resentment and anger.
That we're holding on to.
And that freedom is essential for our own happiness and well-being.
It is.
This has been insightful.
It has.
Forgiveness is much more than just a nice gesture.
Yeah.
It's a fundamental aspect of who we are.
It is.
And a key to living a happier and more fulfilling life.
I agree. And as we'll see in the next part of our exploration, A Course in Miracles offers specific guidance on how we can cultivate forgiveness in our daily lives.
I'm looking forward to that.
Me too. So we were talking about how A Course in Miracles suggests that we apply this concept of forgiveness in our daily lives.
Right.
And, in Lesson 62, it presents this practice of starting and ending each day by repeating the affirmation.
Okay.
Forgiveness is my function as the light of the world.
So we repeat this affirmation and take some time to reflect on what it means.
Exactly. It's about like imprinting this idea in our minds,
Okay.
allowing this truth to kind of resonate within us.
And the lesson even acknowledges that our minds might wander during this practice.
Yeah.
And it suggests that if that happens, we should add, I would remember this because I want to be happy.
It's a good point because it reminds us of the core motivation behind forgiveness,
Yeah.
which is our desire for happiness.
It's not about denying our negative feelings,
No.
but it's recognizing that holding on to them just keeps us trapped in a cycle of suffering.
Yes, forgiveness is the path to freedom.
It involves shifting our focus from judgment and blame to understanding and compassion.
It does.
The Course suggests that this practice can actually transform our whole day.
Oh, for sure.
Wow.
When we approach our day from a place of forgiveness,
Uh,
our perception shifts.
Okay.
We become less reactive, more patient, and better able to see the good in others.
In ourselves.
Yes. And it even mentions how this practice can impact those around us,
Right.
even those far away.
That's interesting.
It speaks to the interconnected nature of reality.
Yeah.
When we choose forgiveness, we contribute to a more peaceful and loving world.
So each of us can make a difference just by choosing to forgive?
That's the idea.
Wow.
It reminds us that we're not powerless victims
Yeah.
of circumstance.
You have the power to choose
We do.
how we respond to life's challenges.
Yes, we can choose to react with anger and resentment, or we can respond with forgiveness and love.
It's about recognizing that forgiveness is not a sign of weakness,
It's not.
but a testament to our inner strength.
And resilience.
That's a process.
It is.
We don't have to do it perfectly.
No.
The key is to just return to the practice
Yes.
and remind ourselves of our function as the light of the world.
Exactly. A Course in Miracles offers this framework for understanding forgiveness, but applying it in our lives is up to each of us.
It will look different for everybody.
It will. There's no one-size-fits-all approach.
No.
And it's important to be patient with ourselves
Right.
because forgiveness can be challenging, especially when we've been deeply hurt.
Okay.
But the rewards
Yes.
are immeasurable.
They are. It's a journey towards a life of greater peace, happiness, and fulfillment.
Absolutely.
What aspects of forgiveness as a function resonate most deeply with you?
That's a good question. You know, I think for me, it's the idea that forgiveness is not just about the other person, but it's also about ourselves.
Okay.
It's about releasing the burden of anger and resentment within us
Yeah.
and choosing to see ourselves and others with compassion and understanding.
Yeah, I really resonate with that too. But also
Yeah.
this idea that it's a practice we cultivate over time.
Yes,
You know,
I agree with that.
it's an ongoing journey
It is.
of letting go and embracing love.
And it's a journey that can transform not only our lives,
Right.
but the world around us.
But we've talked about how A Course in Miracles presents forgiveness as a function, vital for our happiness.
Yes.
And our ability to perceive the world accurately. But how do we actually put this into practice in our lives?
Well, A Course in Miracles gives us some guidance.
Okay.
It encourages us to make forgiveness a daily discipline.
So starting and ending each day with the affirmation.
Right.
And reflecting on its meaning.
Yes, that's a good starting point.
It's about strengthening our forgiveness muscle.
Yes.
What other steps can we take to cultivate forgiveness?
Well, one technique the Course emphasizes is recognizing the illusions we hold about ourselves and the world.
Okay.
And it reminds us illusions about yourself and the world are one. So when we feel judgmental towards someone,
Right.
it's an opportunity to examine those judgments,
Okay.
to ask ourselves, are these perceptions accurate?
Yeah.
Or are they influenced by my unresolved issues?
So taking responsibility for our perception instead of blaming others for our unhappiness.
Exactly. Another tool is replacing attack with forgiveness.
Yeah.
Each time we catch ourselves
Yeah.
being negative, criticizing, harboring resentment, we can consciously choose to shift our mindset.
And we can repeat the affirmation, forgiveness is my function as the light of the world.
Yes, that's a good one. It's about accessing a power greater than ourselves to help us overcome challenges.
So it's a reminder that we're not alone on this journey.
That's right.
That's good.
Another suggestion from the Course is visualizing the benefits of forgiveness.
Okay.
So imagine the lightness, the peace, the joy
Yeah.
that would fill your life if you could truly let go of those burdens.
Envisioning a future where forgiveness prevails?
Yes, and remember, forgiveness is not about condoning hurtful actions.
Okay.
It's about releasing ourselves from the prison of our own negativity.
Yeah, choosing peace over suffering.
Choosing peace over suffering.
Recognizing that holding on to anger and resentment harms us more than anyone else.
It does. A Course in Miracles invites us to see forgiveness as a gift. A gift to ourselves.
Okay.
That unlocks the door to happiness and inner peace.
As we conclude our exploration of forgiveness as a function, I'll leave you with this. If forgiveness truly is our function, how would our lives change if we fully embraced it? What would the world be if forgiveness became our default response?
It's a good question.
It is. It's a question worth considering.
It is.
A vision worth striving for.
I agree.
And it all begins with each of us choosing to forgive.
That's where it starts.
Thank you for joining us on this journey.
It's been a pleasure.
May you find peace, healing, and transformation through the practice of forgiveness.